And I think it's almost impossible to have conversations around what this security and governance around all of this will have without combining them.
Exactly.
We cannot do that.
You're right.
And even as just before you came in, we listened in on the presser that was given by the regional commissioner, who said an interesting thing.
Yes.
When posed the question, he was asked how many police officers in plain clothes are in the area. He couldn't quite give an answer to that. And he said, well, the DCI are the ones who come in plain clothes. The rest of us are in uniform. But he said something interesting, that using unmarked vehicles is a criminal offense in this country.
Good.
Now, from a security point of view, we kind of knew that. But it happens, that notwithstanding, it happens all the time. A lot of people who gave their testimony of having been abducted or things that people see, eyewitness accounts, talked about unmarked vehicles then picking people up. But he said this today. Now, bringing this into this electoral process, why would he say something like this in a situation where everything seems to be calm? Or why would we have so many people of the security effect in this area if everything seems to be calm?
Very good, and thank you for that question. You see, and I like how you began, that security and governance, you can't separate the two. They go together. Yesterday morning, I was in a TV station with your sister station elsewhere, and I said, it is now government that is pushing even independent commissions to a perceived intimidation of people. Because did you see the Inspector General saying how many policemen, he was literally now saying, I am going to secure Ol Kalou. I have released a platoon, 2 platoons of GSU, of AS2 anti-stock theft unit. There was no stock theft there. Huh?
There's not even 100,000 in this place.
And then on the same podium was Commissioner Ken Williams Nyakomita of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA. Remember, their name starts introducing them as independent. Even this Inspector General of Police, on paper, he is independent. He is supposed to be directed by nobody other than on policy issues. On that same podium, there was an ESCC assistant director called Vincent Okongo saying, if you see any acts that appear to offend the Leadership and Integrity Act, bring it to us. On that same podium, there was Bishop Kefa Omai of NCIC. I got really shocked. I didn't expect them together. Also IEBC. Because you want to let IEBC, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. And yesterday, for the first time, one of their commissioners, who, by the way, is the most technically competent and qualified, Anne Derito, having been Registrar of Political Parties, and before that, she was in IEBC itself. She's a very, very well qualified officer, if you ask me. But she said, not every goodie is a bribe. These people of Ol Kalou were sleeping somewhere. Who told you they needed GOK mattresses? There had not been a mudslide there that affected mattresses. You bring them gas cylinders that with matchbox, and you haven't advised them on refill processes. So all this should have been enough for ESCC to enforce Leadership and Integrity Act. Kefa Omai ought to have been talking tough from Ol Kalou. The whole idea now of this overzealous deployment of security agents was meant to achieve one thing: to create voter apathy.
Why? So that if I see the police in the streets where I would normally be going to the market or going to school or going to work, then I will stay at home.
This fear would have caused voter apathy, so that And you know what they do? That they would over deploy them in areas perceived hostile to that thinking, so that ultimately people are tired to go to the to polling stations. Because when you wake up and you see lorry loads of policemen, and how police have been treating people in that constituency in the past campaign period, you will almost predict that people will not go and vote. They'll stay at home. Out of the 73,000 registered voters, by-elections don't attract a lot of voter turnout.
No.
But see the investment by government. I watched a PS saying, I'm on the field just ensuring there is rural electrification. It's just a coincidence that the by-election is here. But if there was good order, you wait. You say this coincidence is too close to ignore, so let's allow good measure